Thanks to their hit reality shows 19 Kids and Counting, as well as Counting On, the Duggar family has risen to the ranks of America's most renowned families. The foundation of their public identity was the family's unfaltering faith, dedication to homeschooling, and extremely orthodox Christian lifestyle. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar, who became household names thanks to their 19 children, were the rock of this enormous family. Theirs has always seemed like the model marriage, strong, long-lasting, and rooted in faith. Fans are shocked and confused by the latest surprising turn of events involving the Duggar family. The impending divorce of the once ideal couple Jim, Bob, and Michelle has shocked everyone in their family and beyond. Many are wondering what will happen to the Duggar children now that they've announced their separation, and how the world will view the couple's marriage of 30 years and more. A family that has frequently appeared unaffected by the scandals and difficulties that many endure in their private life has now been thrust into the limelight as a result of this discovery. So, what led to this point? How did the apparently flawless marriage of Jim, Bob, and Michelle come to an end? What does the surprising Duggar divorce imply for the family's future? Let's find out. Faith and family, a prolonged chronology. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar fell head over heels in love the moment they met in 1984. They were brought together in love by their common religious views and their ambition to have a big family. According to Christian teachings, the Duggars' relationship was characterized by a lifelong commitment to marriage and an emphasis on courtship rather than dating. Josh, Michelle, and Jim, Bob's first child, was born not long after their 1984 wedding. The Duggars' reality shows revolved around their enormous family, which they expanded throughout their marriage by another 18 children. Jim, Bob, and Michelle were famous for their public demonstrations of devotion, their evidently unbreakable relationship, and their shared ideals during their marriage. Many looked up to them as role models for devoted family life because of their large brood of 19 children. The Duggars were an inspiration to many conservative Christian families because of their dedication to homeschooling, stringent discipline, and importance of faith. The Duggar family's values and way of life were shown prominently on 19 Kids and Counting and subsequently Counting On for more than 30 years, establishing Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar as a prominent TV couple. The faithfulness, love, and parenting style of this couple enchanted their fans. Nevertheless, this apparently ideal family dynamic was just put to the test in ways that nobody could have foreseen. Early warning signals of problems. Once held in high esteem as a model of marital bliss, the Duggars' idyllic reputation started to crumble due to a chain of unfortunate occurrences. Josh Duggar, their eldest son, was the target of scandalous revelations at the outset. Accusations surfaced in 2015 that Josh, while still a teenager, molested 5 girls, including some of his sisters. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar were the targets of harsh criticism for their handling of the scandalous claims, which rocked the Duggar family to its core. They kept up their public demeanor, which seemed to be unaffected by the drama surrounding Josh's acts, and the couple kept their support for him. But Josh's controversy had far-reaching effects on the family, and the scrutiny of their parenting styles and beliefs grew. This was the first of several problems that would rock their family's reputation. Josh Duggar's arrest in 2021 on allegations of having child pornography brought Jim, Bob, and Michelle back into the limelight. The Duggar family's already ruined reputation was further muddied when he was found guilty later that year. There was a noticeable increase in tension in the Duggar home, even though the couple supported Josh through his legal issues. With each new incident, fans started to wonder if Jim, Bob, and Michelle's love could survive. The startling news of the divorce. The divorce of Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar was a shocking development that made headlines throughout the world. After more than 3 decades of marriage and what looked like an unbreakable relationship, the couple's decision to part ways seemed nearly unbelievable. The statement was made out of the blue, which left fans bewildered and rushing to find out more information. What could possibly have happened to a couple who had always been portrayed as the epitome of conventional marital bliss and traditional family values? According to those in the know, the Duggar family's breakup was inevitable. The couple's decision to divorce was the result of years of pressure from both their families and the public, although they had already had marital problems. Reportedly, Jim, Bob, and Michelle's relationship had been deteriorating for a while due to the continual scrutiny from the media and the stress brought on by their son Josh's controversies. One factor that led to the couple's breakup was their divergent opinions on how to deal with the publicity surrounding the family's many problems. Jim Bob, who had always been the more talkative and public-facing half of the pair, allegedly prioritized preserving the family's reputation over addressing the growing tensions in their personal lives. Contrarily, rumors circulated that Michelle had become disillusioned with the demands of public life and the relentless scrutiny she endured. The couple's inability to put aside their differences was exacerbated by the weight of the family's continuous scandals, which added fuel to the fire of their personal disputes. In a heartfelt statement, Jim Bob and Michelle expressed their joint decision to divorce while also acknowledging the difficulties they had endured as a couple. A key component in their decision to part ways was the widening gap between them in terms of priorities, values, and general worldview. Even though they were going their separate ways, the couple promised to keep their faith front and center and to co-parent their children. Influence on Duggar kids. The Duggar children have been profoundly affected by the divorce, as one would expect. A number of the Duggar children resorted to social media to show their solidarity with their parents after hearing the news of their parents' separation, but others chose to stay mum, leading admirers to speculate about how the youngsters are coping with the tragedy. The breakup signifies the conclusion of a period for a few of the elder Duggar offspring. The thought of their parents parting ways is hard for many of them to comprehend because they were brought up in a society where divorce was socially unacceptable. But some have spoken out in support of their parents' choice, claiming that the separation was good for their own health. Specifically, new conversations over the future of the family have emerged as a result of the aftermath of Jim Bob and Michelle's divorce. Are we going to see more reality TV appearances from the Duggar kids? Now that their marriage is in shambles, how will their family dynamic change? No one knows the answers to these mysteries, but the Duggar family will change forever. What people think. The public's reaction to Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's divorce has been varied. A lot of admirers are really crushed by the news. For those who held the Duggars in high esteem, the prospect of a divorce is devastating news because they were formerly seen to be the model of a happy, Christian family. The Duggars' detractors, meanwhile, view the split as a welcome change that has been building for some time. The couple has taken a lot of heat for how they've handled the scandals involving their children and their traditional, conservative beliefs. The divorce has opened up a larger conversation regarding the difficulties of being famous, the strains on marriages caused by living in the spotlight, and the difficulties of preserving a public image. Where do the Duggars go from here? Many questions concerning the future of the Duggar family persist as they adapt to life following Jim Bob and Michelle's divorce. What happens to the family's status in the reality TV industry? In what ways will the children's relationships with their parents and with one another be impacted by the divorce? Most importantly, how can the family overcome the personal and public obstacles they've encountered throughout the years? What happens next for the Duggar family is anyone's guess. But the breakup of Jim Bob and Michelle's marriage was a watershed moment in their family's history. Fans will surely keep an eye on the Duggar family as they traverse this new chapter in their lives, even though the pair may be moving on independently. The Duggar legacy will keep evolving.